Hello everyone. We have completed the chapter Knowing Our Numbers. So now let's begin with the chapter Whole Numbers. These are the topics that will be covered. I'll be talking about natural numbers, whole numbers, and the properties of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division of whole numbers. We will also look into the order of operations and patterns observations. Let us begin. Let us see what are natural numbers. Natural numbers are counting numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on are called as the natural numbers. What are whole numbers? The natural numbers along with a zero is called as whole numbers. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, so on are called as the whole numbers. Here is a number line for whole numbers. So let us see how to do addition, subtraction and multiplication of whole numbers using number line. So let us add two whole numbers. Let me take 3 and 4. So we are going to add 3 and 4 using number line. So what are we supposed to do? We start from 3. Since we add 4 to this number, we make 4 jumps to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we have reached at 7. So the sum of 3 and 4 is equal to 7. Similarly, we can subtract two whole numbers using number line. Let us see how to do that. If I am planning to subtract 7 and 5, let us take this example. So what am I supposed to do? I should start from 7. Since 5 is being subtracted from 7, we move towards left with one jump of 1 unit. So how many jumps should I take? I should take 5 jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where did I reach now? I reached at 2. So our answer is 2. Now let us see how we can use the number line to multiply two whole numbers. Let me multiply 2 by 3. Let us see how to do this. Start from 0 and move 3 units at a time to the right. 1, 2. So where did I reach? I reached at 6. That means 2 times 3, which is equal to 6. Now let us look into the properties of addition. What are the properties of addition of whole numbers? The first property is the closure property. What do you mean by closure property of addition of whole numbers? When you add two whole numbers, the sum will always be a whole number. This is called closure property of addition, and it is one of the special properties of addition. Let me take two whole numbers. Let me take 3 and 4. 3 is a whole number, 4 is a whole number. Let me add both and see what do I get. 3 plus 4 is equal to 7. Is 7 a whole number? Yes, 7 is also a whole number. That is, when I add two whole numbers, I get the sum will also be a whole number. Next, commutative property. Commutative property is nothing but the order property. When you add a pair of numbers, you get the same number no matter what order you use in adding them. Let me take the same example. Let me take 3 and 4. Let me add both of them. What do I get? I get 7. Now let me change the order of the addends. Let me write 4 plus 3. What do I get? I get 7. So what did you understand from this? When you add a pair of numbers, you get the same result no matter what order you use in adding them. 4 plus 3 is same as 3 plus 4. Thus, you can say addition is commutative. Another property of addition is associative property or grouping property. What do you mean by associative property? Associate means to connect or to combine. Suppose you have to add three numbers 2, 4 and 3. Let us see how to add them. I can either add 4 and 3 first, find their sum and then add 2 to their result. I get 9. The other way by which I can do is I will group 2 and 4 to which I will add 3. So I get 6 plus 3 which is also equal to 9. This is called as associative property of addition. Next is additive identity. Adding 0 to a number or a number to 0 does not change the value of the number. Let us see. Let me take the number 6. What happens if I add 0 to 6? I get the result as 6. If I add 0 to 6, if I add 0 and 6, what do I get? I get the same answer 6. Therefore, 0 is called the identity number of addition or additive identity. 0 is called as the additive identity. Next, let us look into the properties of subtraction. Let us see what is the first property. First property is the closure property. Let us see what happens when we subtract a whole number from a whole number. Let me take two whole numbers 8 and 2. What do I get if I subtract 8 and 2? I get the result as 6. How about 4 minus 2? I get the answer as 2. If I subtract 3 and 5, what do I get? Do I get a whole number? No. So what do you understand from this? The difference is not a whole number when the subtrahend is larger than the minuend. Can you see the subtrahend? Which is 5. It is bigger than 3. When the subtrahend is greater than the minuend, you will not get a whole number. So you can say that whole numbers are not closed with regard to subtraction. Now, commutative property. Commutative property is order property. So let us take two numbers 7 and 3. What is 7 minus 3? You know it is 4. Now let me change the order. What is 3 minus 7? Do I get a whole number? No. So I can say that 7 minus 3 is not equal to 3 minus 7. Therefore, the operation of subtraction is not commutative. Now let us look into the associative property of subtraction. Let us investigate whether subtraction is associative or not. Let us take an example. 12 minus 6 minus 4. So let me first group 6 and 4. So what is 12 minus 2? I get 10. Now let me group them differently. Let me group 12 and 6 and then subtract 4 from their result. So I get 6 minus 4, which is equal to 2. So I get 10 is not equal to 2. Therefore, subtraction is not associative. Next is the property of 0. What happens when a number is subtracted by 0? The number remains unchanged. So we can say a number remains unchanged when 0 is subtracted from it. For example, if I am subtracting 0 from 10, what do I get? I get the same number. Let me take the largest 3-digit number, 999, and subtract 0 from that. What do I get? I get 999, largest 3-digit number. So we can say that 0 is the identity number of subtraction. Now let us look into the properties of multiplication. The first property is closure property. Let me take two whole numbers, 4 and 3. What is the product of 4 and 3? I get 12. Is 4 a whole number? Yes. Is 3 a whole number? Yes. How about the product 12? Is that a whole number? Yes. So we can say that whole numbers are said to be closed under multiplication. Or since the product is always a whole number in any multiplication of two whole numbers, closure property applies in multiplication. Next, commutative property. Let me take two whole numbers 6 and 3 and let me find their product. What is 6 multiplied by 3? I get 18. Let me change the order. What is 3 multiplied by 6? I get 18. So what did you understand from this? This shows that if we multiply a pair of whole numbers, we get the same product irrespective of the order of multiplication. We say that multiplication is commutative. Multiplication is commutative. Next, let us look into the associative property of multiplication. Let me take three numbers. 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 4. So let me group 3 and 2. So what do I get? 3 multiplied by 2 is 6. 6 multiplied by 4 will be equal to 24. Now let me group them in the other way. 3 multiplied by 2 by 4, which is equal to 3 multiplied by 8. What is 3 multiplied by 8? Is again 24. So I got 24 is equal to 24. So I can say that multiplication possesses associative property. Next is the identity property. Let me take a whole number 7. What happens if I multiply 1 with 7? I get the same number. This shows that when we multiply a number by 1, we get the same number. How about 1 multiplied by 7? What is 1 multiplied by 7? it is also 7. So you can say that when we multiply a number by 1 or when we multiply 1 by a number, the value of the number remains unchanged. So 1 is said to be the identity number of multiplication or multiplicative identity. Now let us see the property of 0. What happens when you multiply any number by 0? Let me take the number 4. If I multiply 4 by 0, what do I get? The product will be 0. What happens if 4 is multiplied, 0 multiplied by 4? 4 multiplied by 0 or 0 multiplied by 4? The answer remains the same. Now, distributive property of multiplication over addition. Let us see what is this. Let me take an example. 3 multiplied by 6 plus 4. So what do I do? First, I will add 6 and 4. I get 10. To this, I will multiply 3. So I get the answer as 30. How will I apply distributive property of multiplication over for this? What I should do is, I should multiply 3 by 6. 3 multiplied by 6 plus 3 multiplied by 4. That is equal to 18 plus 12. That is also 30. So what is that we did? Distributive property is that to multiply a sum, we may add first and then multiply, or multiply the addend separately and then add. Now, let us see the distributive property of multiplication over subtraction. Let me take an example. 5 multiplied by 9 minus 3. How will I do this? 5 multiplied by 6. 9 minus 3 is 6, which is equal to 30. What is the other way by which I do it? 5 multiplied by 9. First I will multiply 5 by 9. Then I put the minus sign. Then I multiply 5 and 3. I get 45 minus 15, which is also equal to 30. This is the distributive property of multiplication over subtraction. Now let us look into the properties of division. Let us take two numbers, 20 and 4. Let me divide 20 by 4. What do I get? I get the answer as 5. How about 4 divided by 4? I get another whole number. What happens if I divide 5 by 2? Will I get a whole number? I will get 2 1 by 2. Is this a whole number? You have a whole number part and a fractional part. So you can say that the quotient is not always a whole number. So the whole numbers are not closed with regard to division. How about commutative property? Let us see if commutative property is applicable. Let me take two whole numbers, 10 and 2. What is 10 divided by 2? You get 5. How about 2 divided by 10? 2 by 10. What is 2 by 10? It is 1 by 5. So Is 5 equal to 1 by 5? No. 5 is not equal to 1 by 5. The quotient is not the same when the dividend and the divisor are reversed. Therefore, division is not commutative. How about the associative property? 1000 divided by 100 divided by 10. How much is this? What is 1000 divided by 100? You get 10. 10 divided by 10 is equal to 1. So now 1000 divided by 100 divided by 10. What do you get? 1000 divided by 10. What is your answer? 100. Is 1 equal to 100? No, 1 is not equal to 100. So division is not associative. Next is the property of 1. Next is the property of 1. What happens if you divide any number? Suppose I take the number 3. If I divide 3 by 1, what do you get? You get the same number. So this shows that dividing any whole number by 1 does not change the number. Therefore, 1 is the identity number in division. If any number is divided by itself, suppose if I divide 3 by 3, what do I get? The quotient is always 1. For example, as I have shown here, 3 divided by 3 equal to 1. Okay. Next, the last property is property of 0. So if 0 is divided by any whole number, 0 is divided by any whole number, the quotient is 0. 0 divided by 5, 0 divided by 4 is equal to 0. What happens if you divide any, if 5 is being divided by 0 or if 4 is being divided by 0, can you divide this? No, they are not defined. Division by 0 is not defined. Next topic is order of operation. So these are the 4 operations that you have studied: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. There is a particular order for carrying out these operations when they appear in a numerical expression. Let us see the rules. The first rule is, if the numerical expression has only addition sign and subtraction sign, you will do the left to right rule. Understood? See, let us take the first example. The first example is 13 minus 5 plus 4. This has one subtraction sign and one addition sign. So what do? We apply the left to right rule and you start the calculation from the left. So what is 13 minus 5? It's 8. 8 plus 4. What is 8 plus 4? 12. Understood? Similarly, if your numerical expression contains multiplication and division, again you will start doing from left to right. So how will you do this? So your first operation is multiplication. So you will do 8 into 3, which is equal to 24 divided by 4, which is equal to 6. Understood? This is how you do. You have already heard, you might have heard about BODMAS rule. What is this B? This is bracket of division, multiplication, addition and subtraction. So if your numerical expression has a bracket, you will be carrying out the operation which is within the brackets. Then you will do the division, then multiplication, then addition and then subtraction. Now let us see how to solve this problem. I would request all of you to pause the video for a while. Do this problem on your own and see if you are getting the correct answer as that of mine. Okay, so let us begin. So the expression is 21 divided by 7 plus 5. So what do you do here? First you will do division. 21 divided by 7 is 3. 3 plus 5 is equal to 8. Again, I request you all to please pause your video and solve this on your own and see if you are getting the same answer. So here you have a bracket. So what are you supposed to do? You are supposed to apply the BODMAS rule here. First, you should do the calculation of the numbers within the brackets. So 6 plus 28 divided by 2. Then what should you do? You should do division. Which are the two numbers that you are going to divide? 28 and 2. So 28 divided by 2. What is 28 divided by 2? 14. So 6 plus 14 is equal to 20. Next you have the patterns observation. A number pattern is a set of numbers that has been formed according to a rule. So this actually helps us to do your calculation quite quicker, or it helps you to simplify your calculations. So what do you observe when you look into this? 108 plus 9. How can you write 9? 9 can be written as 10 minus 1. So it's very easy to add a number to 10. So you get 118 minus 1, which is equal to 117. How about this? This can be written as 120 minus 10 minus 1. So I get 120 minus 10 plus 1. How am I getting a plus sign here? Because I am going to multiply. I have a 1 here. So I am going to multiply minus 1 with 10. I get minus 10. Minus 1 with minus 1. I get plus 1. I am going to open this bracket. What is 120 minus 10? 110 plus 1. I get 111. And next problem, you all can try along with me. So 423 plus, how can you write 99 as? Yes, 100 minus 1. So you all know addition by 100 is very easy. So 423 plus 100 equal to 523 minus 1. Your answer will be 522. I hope you all have enjoyed my session. So with this, we have come to the end of our chapter whole numbers. I hope you all have enjoyed my session. If you have enjoyed my session, please do subscribe to Mathar for more videos. Please share it with your friends, like and give your valuable comments. I will be uploading the further videos soon. Thank you for your support. Thank you for watching. Bye.